There we are. We're live. Good evening, everybody. Hope it's nice and pleasant where you are. It's a sticky 32 on the workshop thermometer and about 30 outside. So a tad on the sticky side for all of us. So I know those up East Anglia have had it a bit wet this afternoon, a few storms over there. So hopefully everyone's surviving. So my ear maggot for the evening is this young boy. So don't be too hard with him. He's all right, even if he is an Irish Scot.
And I'm Scottish, not Irish at all. I've got no Irish blood whatsoever.
He's just Irish drinking, is it? He drinks Irish Scotch. Anyway, so Brian's in to keep me under control. Well, sort of.
Yeah, not much chance of that. But
no,
we'll
I'm going to put him in the background.
Good plan.
Change the camera to that one. Come on. That's it. So what have we got? We've got 9.5 inches at the moment by 3 inches square. I've just literally knocked the corners off and made a chucking point on one end, and it's going to be the goblet, the hollow in without a drill bit. This is Wayne's sort of challenge for the week, I believe. So what I've done is I've brought this project forward about 3 weeks. This was going to be in about 3 weeks' time. I thought I'd bring it forward to that. Just coincides with Brian doing one last night, was it, Brian? Yeah, last night.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah,
Monday lunchtime, yeah.
Yeah, you can't have it all. Anyway, I'm going to say hello to all you guys and girls in the chat. I'm going to start chomping away at this. I'm going to put the mouse somewhere where I know where it is. It's on the end of the bandsaw, Brian.
Are you sure now?
I'm definitely sure about that, and it won't fall off of that. God, that was a bit of a fiasco this afternoon trying to shut down, but we got there. So welcome one and all, and no, Pete, it's hollow in either a box or a goblet, but not using a drill of any description.
Wayne actually suggested it would be a box, but it had to be end grain hollowing is what he was talking about.
Oh, right. Okay.
Not using a drill or a Forstner bit.
So I've got it sort of half right and half wrong.
Yeah, well, yes. So, yeah, you're hollowing end grain with the same thing, basically.
Yeah.
Your
audio's a little bit echoey, mate.
Is it? Oh, let me just check it then.
Sounds like someone's getting a bit of feedback on it. It's either that or you're in the swimming pool.
Not in the swimming pool. Let me just check camera and mic, make sure it's there we go. Camera's okay, yep. It's audio. No, it's on the Jabra link, so it should be okay.
Okay. Just having a hickey then. Right, I'm going to make a start.
It's maybe just a poor internet connection.
Could well be. I mean, it's that time of night when all the kids want to get on there. They've got out of school and they want to have a play. So I'm going to start to rough this down, lock down everything. My usual baby, not quite, let's turn the big sucker on. My baby spindle roughing gouge.
So from the participants list, we have Mr. Barry Cherry, David Nicol, Douglas Mangum, Jared the French Turner, Jay of Jay's Cabin, James Crawford, Lawrence Medea, Malcolm Douglas, Peter Cochran, Rob CP, or Rob CP Wood Turner it says now, Terry Bartlett.
Come up in the world, has he?
He has indeed. It must have been since he turned that trim blue. Terry Bartlett, Terry Hooper, The Linnekins is in.
Hi, kiddo.
Terry, the holiday maker.
The hooligan
TJ
from
Turner. Yeah.
TJ, yeah.
Trevor P, the hobby turner. That's all that's on the participants list, but I know we've got more than that in. So let me just have a quick look at the chat, live chat, and see who's in there.
So you can see the nice shavings coming off of here. I'm using the right-hand side wing as a skew just to give me a little bit of shape so that I know where I should be going once I start hollowing the inside out.
So David Nichols says, it's good to be back and alive again, just back from a week in California. Another holiday maker.
Tough,
and I've missed these, he says. Well, don't go on holiday.
They're all on YouTube, so you might have missed the lives, but you can actually catch up on the replays as many times as you like. So that was a steb center in the tailstock, and I've got it gripped in my Axminster gripper jaws. Now I'm going to swing the head a bit because I can.
So Barry from Wood Turning by Barry has just joined us. Good evening, Barry.
Hi, Barry. Welcome, one and all. So set this up. I'm going to make a start with the small bowl gouge.
You'll need to adjust that camera a little bit, Keith. You need to lift it up a little bit so as you can see.
Right, okay.
Just off the picture. There you go, that's fine. Perfect.
So this is a bowl gouge to start with. Let me adjust it a little bit more. Sorry if you get seasick, guys, but I think with a little bit of jiggery pokery, you can see a little bit more of it.
See a lot more of a hollowing there. That's good, Keith.
Yeah, this is a bowl gouge, the big 1/2 inch one. Just working to the middle. You can hear the vibrations setting in when I'm getting to the bit where the wood's not really spinning. Now, there's two ways you can get over that. Ramp up the volume is one. Sometimes it works. And it would be handy if I can see what I'm doing.
Well, not much point if we can see if you can.
No. Right, so with the bowl gouge, I'm just going to gently pick at the middle.
So Rob CP has just corrected me. He says I've been Rob CP wood turner for about 9 months, Brian. Yeah, I was just winding you up a little bit there, Rob. You're all right, mate.
Right now,
and a good wood turner you are too, and don't run yourself down.
No, you make a good job of what you do.
Jennifer's Crafting Creations is in.
Hello,
good
Jennifer.
Good evening, Jennifer.
It's still a bowl gouge. If you get it about right, you can drill with it. And don't definitely need any further than that. Otherwise, we shall have a goblet that leaks.
A funnel?
No, a goblet that leaks.
No, a funnel. Don't try and get out of it. It's a funnel.
Right, that's enough squealing from that. A bit like a pig being caught and having its bits played with. Right, I think I go on to a spindle gouge, a 1/2 inch one. Drop the speed back, see, doesn't make any difference. No, that's too loud. It's doing my head in if nothing else.
Tony Smith has just joined. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony. So we're now going on to the
Not a name I've seen very often, I have to say.
Hope hollowing tool, the little 6mm baby. So I've got this set so that the 2 grub screws in the top, and that puts the cutter level. So I can see the grub screws, so I'm pulling them over to about 45 degrees. So I know more or less where the cutter's cutting.
And Mike Castle has just joined. Good evening, Nick.
And Mark's back. What has he missed? Nothing yet, mate.
Not a lot. Just hollowing out the cup of a goblet, Mark. Mark's pleased to announce that his workshop is now fully functioning with sockets.
When you go around your workshop, it's surprising how many you actually need, how many tools you've got.
Eric Winkler is in. Good evening, Eric.
Is that Eric Winkler?
It is indeed Eric Winkler.
Ah, hi guys. Hi everyone. Thank you for coming over.
You've been going for 12 minutes under 34 watching.
Well done, guys.
Even though we started half an hour early.
Yep, that was my fault. I'll put my hand up to that one. I was thinking it was Thursday when I put it on the on StreamYard, and by the time I'd realised it was too late to do anything about it. So I'm down digit length, which is where I need to be, which is right at the bottom of the bowl, but I do need to tartan it up a little bit on the inside.
Oh, look who's popped in. And the ages are turning. Hi everyone, just popping in briefly to make sure you're all behaving.
Have a drink for me, Andy.
Skyven, handy.
He's getting withdrawal symptoms, that's what it is.
And Terry Bartlett has just said, hi Mark, you only miss Brian being described as a young boy. I think, yeah, the young man, I think, is what he said. Steve Ellis is in. Good evening, Steve.
Right, that's done a fair bit with that one. So, next tool of choice is round-ended carbide. Just to straighten out some of the little divots that 6mm makes.
What size of carbide is that? Yes,
it's about 12mm.
12?
Yeah, it is a 12mm. So
right.
What I've got on my handle, I've got the grub screw to hold it in, because it's a different handle, and I've got the grub screw in line with the cutter, so that when the grub screw is up, I know that's fully open, so I can bring it over to 45 degrees, and I know where I'm safe-ish then.
So Rob CP is asking a question, Keith. Are you doing a captive ring, or do you hate them just as much as Brian does?
I'll ignore that one.
Yeah, the answer to that is yes, he does. Just about the same as much as Pete does as well.
It's a pointless exercise. It's worth doing one or two when you first start turning. But I've seen babies' rattles made out of captive rings on a fairly coarse wood. Well, we can all guess the consequence of that if the baby breaks it and chews it and chokes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the one that's going to answer to that? Oh, I bought it as a baby safe. Oh, that's quite a nice finish in there, even if I say so and you can't see it. Do have a little bit of a pimple in the middle.
So Brian the Florida bearded woodworker is in. He says hello everyone.
Hi Brian. So I've got to get rid of that little nipple in the middle, which is always the worst one. And can I see it? I can, just about. I've got to try and stroke across it. It's alright leaning forward, but every time I do that, the headset falls off.
Hence the reason for the band of elastic behind my head.
Right. Thought that was to hold the brain in, Brian.
No, that's to stop the.
Stop the brain escaping, is it?
Yeah. What brain is this?
So I'm still got a little bit of a pimple in the bottom. And the best way of getting rid of pimples is not to put them there to start with.
This is of course true, but I always seem to end up with one in there.
Well, I do at this depth. And the other disadvantage I have over most of you guys now is I've got a 5-second ramp up and a ramp down speed preset onto the lathe, and I can't do a lot about it. So it would be no good me doing the Wayne speed challenge for bowl turning, because I'd lose 20 seconds before I even started.
Why did you set a ramp up speed in?
Because it's a big lathe, you can have big lumps of wood on there. Well, if you've got 2-3 foot diameter pieces of wood and it stops almost immediately you hit the off button, you can unwind the chuck because of the centrifugal force generated. So that's why this manufacturer, that's better, does it this way. And there's no way.
Question for Peter Cochran there. He says, Keith, have you got a new handle for this banjo, or is this a different lathe?
No, this is the same lathe. Yes, I've got a new handle. I invested in £6 worth, and for the observant, yeah, I've got a donkey's knob on the banjo tightener, so a lot easier to get hold of now. And yeah, and made by myself, I hasten to add.
And Lionel has joined us. Good evening, Lionel.
And there's a comment there from Nick to Mark.
See
yeah.
That.
Were you in the doo-doo last night, Mark?
Just a little bit.
So I've swapped now to my 1.25 inch.
Barry's Wood Creation has joined us. He says, sorry we're a bit late, Keith.
You're only a little late, but not a problem.
And Mark has responded by saying, just a little bit. Shavings and wood dust all over those nice new shorts. Oh dear.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to put a bit of paper in there. I'm quite confident that I can put my fingers in there because there's a decent escape route on there to come out. It's a bit fast. Or a finger, shall we say.
Gerard the French Turner has said he has to go and get some ice. It's still too hot in the house. All the windows and doors open, not a breath of air.
No.
It's the same in the north. Not
the only place to live tonight is in Norfolk, apparently. And they've had storms.
We could do with some rain up here. All my grass is starting to go brown.
Yeah.
Also, if this keeps up for another week or so, I might have to start feeding them. Some of the farmers locally have started putting bales of silage out already.
You don't want that, do you?
Nope.
Cutting into your winter feed.
Cutting into winter feed is right.
There's a little paper the right way around. There's a little ridge just on the inside, little mark there.
So Rob CP suggests that captive rings are now the new controversial aspect of wood turning. Move over carbide versus traditional. LOL. Yeah, captive rings have been a
not
thing
controversial.
For a long time.
They're just a pain in the a pointless exercise. You can prove you can do one. That's fine.
Yeah, move on.
Yep.
And Gab's in as well. I didn't see Gab from Today Woodworks coming in. Hi, Gab.
He's crept in, has he? Hi, mate.
He says it all goes round in circles, Rob.
Yeah, it does, particularly on a lathe. Right, now I can drop down to 120. Now I don't want to get this too hot through sanding, because cherry is a bit like you. It will heat shake. If it does get warm, which it has done now, you stop for a few minutes and you look at the chat and say, right, no one's got any questions then? Or have I answered them all?
So David Nicholas said it's unbelievably dry in California, but it still won't stop raining in Kentucky. So he's still way behind on hay cutting. That's not good either. That's the opposite problem. I've got all my hay in, thankfully.
Right. Let's readjust. See sickness, guys, for a few seconds.
All right.
Yeah.
Down a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go. That's perfect.
I've got the monitor right over my shoulder, so I can see what I'm doing, and I can catch up on the chat at the same time.
I did that. Put the monitor right in front of the lathe, and then put some sanding sealer on and spun the lathe up.
Yeah.
And covered the monitor in sanding sealer.
You think Pratt?
Yep.
Or words similar.
Yeah, words to that effect. There were some 4-letter words in there as well, I think.
Yeah. Something like idiot.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Rob suggests that captive rings it's fun for people. It's fun for people that don't know how they're made. Most turning is boring. Boring, really, once you know how it's done and made possible. Yeah, well, there's lots of things out there to challenge you. I'm sure Rob and me. Ruby Claire does some amazing stuff, like balls within balls.
If anyone wants to challenge themselves, have a look at inside out turning. There is a special name for it. Come on, Terry, tell me the name. You do it quite a bit. What's it called? Inside out turning, where you basically put in 4 quarters.
Yeah, I think it's called inside out turning, isn't it?
No, there is a name for it.
All right,
So,
okay.
I know Terry's done some.
I did a finial inside a finial using
Right,
inside out turning somewhere.
right, it's something like that, yeah. But,
It's not very pretty, but
come on, Mr. Hooper, wake up. You know the answer to this. Because you involuted. That's it. Well done, mate. Thank you.
involuted. There you go. That's not a
Yeah.
word I'd heard before. I just call it inside out turning.
No.
Involuted turning, okay.
The technical name is involuted turning or involute turning.
So Jared, the French turner, says, yeah, that's fun to do. I did a piece for the WT360 Club Challenge a few months ago.
You've got to be able to read the inside or read the outside from the inside and work accordingly. It's not the easiest method of turning, but it can generate some quite interesting pieces, and also it's used quite a lot on Christmas decorations, I believe.
Yep.
But what I would say on that is you need a relatively good workshop so that you can square it up and then also plane it up, because it's no good having a joint that is all over the place, or a fat.
Perfectly square, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to see the glue joint.
So Rob CP says that I was inspired by him to do the finial within the finial, and he's absolutely right. I've seen him doing it on a live one time, so I tried it myself. I think Rob made a better job of it than I did.
Right, now I'm going to ditch the bowl gouge and go on to a spindle gouge. I had one here that was freshly sharpened last week.
Sorry, mate.
Go on.
Jace Calvin says it's just 20 to 20 degrees Celsius here, so I can go to his cabin and do some turning after 4 weeks.
All right.
That's good. Get out there and do something.
I've just looked at the workshop thermometer before we went live, and it was a mere 32C. Oh, we've dropped to 30 now.
Oh, well, that's good.
It's getting cooler the right way up. Yeah, that's the right way up. So you can just see we're down. Mercury's down to 30. So still a tad on the warm side for me. My ideal was about 27, I think.
My ideal temperature somewhere about 20 degrees is perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't have to work to stay warm, but you don't have to work to stay cold either. It's great.
No. So now I'm going to be swapping between 2 or 3 different chisels, and basically use the big bowl gouge to eat the wood off.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, Gareth today Woodworker just said Rob CP is my hero. He's certainly inspiring sometimes when he produces really good work that he does. So I keep going back to that tumbler that he made. It's an amazing bit of work.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have the patience, I don't think, for that.
Me neither.
I like to get onto a project and get it banged out a bit sharpish. There is no...
Lincoln's is showing off again, Keith. She says it's a lovely 21 degrees C here.
Yeah, well, she just put aircon in at home.
Is that because of the aircon again, Lincoln's?
So where's Molly? Curled up on your leg?
Molly the dog.
Molly the dog. Yeah. There's a little bead underneath the top detail. And I don't really want to go back to touch that now. With a chisel. A quick sand up with, where's the 240? Answer is it could be anywhere. That's 120. Okay.
And don't tell me you didn't get organised again.
I thought I'd got a bit out.
Goodness sake, you need a sanding paper station.
Yeah, I've got it. It's all up on the wall there. But,
it needs to be at the lathe, but
it is. I can reach it from the lathe, but it's not torn off.
Lannikins, I don't think we need to know that. She said, no, Molly is breathing on me. Lovely hot tuna infested breath. Ugh. Dog
Whose
breath
fault's
with
that
tuna.
for feeding her? Yeah, whose fault for feeding her tuna?
Margaret General Woodturner says that cup is starting to wobble.
Little bit of wobble on it.
How thick is your stem?
At the moment, about 8.
Okay. Terry Hooper's having to go. He says, sorry, I'll catch up tomorrow.
Oh, God, you can't handle a full one, can you, Terry?
Bye, Terry.
Cheers, mate, for stopping by anyway.
Rob CP is asking a question. Does Keith know the shape before he starts, or just design on the go?
Well, I knew it was going to be a goblet, and I was going to do a parallel cupped goblet as near as damn it. Because last time I did one, I did a tulip shape, thistle shaped one. So I do know more or less what the major parts are, but the stem is just a stem. So watch this space. So
basically, you have a rough idea, and it develops into what it develops into.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I do it too. You just it's going to be a goblet. We'll see what comes out of the wood.
Yeah, the wood dictates a lot of it.
Does to me.
The tools dictate the other bit, because you only want a little bit of a catch or an oops moment, and there's a design change midway, which isn't a problem normally. That's why you don't go too berserk and finish the whole lot of turning before you sand it up on things like this. You gradually work down.
The design process is fluid.
So all of a sudden you can see that's quite a nice piece of cherry. You can see the grain in that. Yeah, this has got quite a bit of green to it as well. So it is a bit better than some.
And Rob CP says he loves this shape.
Good. Because it ain't changing now, Rob.
Nope. Stem's too thin to be going back there now.
Yeah.
Well, you could, but it would be risky.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt that. Just need that to dry off, because this is meths and shellac, so it doesn't dry as quick as what the new versions do, which are cellulose or acrylic. They dry really quick. It's almost dry. So the old process that I used to use, Libron paste wax, put on with a Weebrax pad, and my Weebrax is equivalent to 1600 grit. Turn that right down and wet sand that with the paste wax, because that's all I'm doing, stopping the dust flying. So I'm getting down to equivalent of 1600. using the left hand just to support it. If you can't take the heat in the hand, put a paper towel in there. So that's massaging the wax in. And before I come round and finish the inside, I'm just going to work down the top 1 inch just to give me a chance, because down there is a lot more strength than there is on this edge. Now I can still hold it down the base of the bowl. So whack the speed up a bit. Like I say, I'm quite happy to put digits inside. The escape route is pretty good, and I'm not putting a lot of weight on it. I'm letting the wee bracts do the work. Now we're going to rub that in reverse. So raise a few whiskers in forward, take them off in reverse.
Door 60 has joined us. Good evening, Door.
Hi, mate. Hi, Door. And this is the way that most of the old turners would have worked before you'd got anything like Yorkshire grit on the market. And the only reason I'm not using Yorkshire grit is because I don't happen to have any. I've either used it all or I've used it all.
Oh, no Yorkshire grit. Oh, no.
Yeah, it saves Brian having to sing.
It does.
Gently buff it off. Again, change from reverse to forward. Now I don't want a high gloss finish. I can always overcoat this with microcrystalline if I want to bring up the gloss, or actually use Hampshire Sheen's high gloss wax on in the top of this. But I'm happy with that. You can see the sheen on the outside, beautifully smooth on the inside, which I can't get a camera to at the moment. So I'm going to gently work down. Now that bit's finished, I get about halfway down the stem, and then I'll polish that up, sand that up, and keep doing it a bit at a time.
Eric Winkler likes the shape as well, Keith.
Good.
And Rob CP has just said he's enjoyed Barry's new finial video. Must have a look at that later, Barry.
Yeah, I see he's done 3.
Is that the 3 you
different...
put on Facebook? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's as much as I've seen.
Yep, I haven't seen the video yet.
No, I haven't seen it. That is at least 3/8 of an inch, 10mm shaving coming off of there. I think I've got a splinter in the palm of my hand, which doesn't help holding the chisels.
That's not good.
Do I want it there? No, I want to come down a bit more. Bevel rubbing, lean against it. Not too hard. A nice controlled cut. Just because we're working on thin doesn't mean the need automatically take thin passes. Now this is all with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge.
Mark from Mark's Woodshed is in. Good evening, Mark.
Hello, Mark. Welcome all of you on this rather hot, sticky Tuesday evening, which should be Rich's, but he's pre-engaged on something else, and he's actually got the invade that he didn't get last week. That will be coming on at 9 o'clock after me. It's a bit too slow.
That's the invade of
Baz, Real Simple Things. Yeah, so apparently technology has now been sorted. This is a bit of 120 grit, just to clean out the really bad pieces. Followed up by 240. Now we're making a sling out of the paper and holding it round as I'm doing. You don't put any massive points of contact on there to damage it. So, like I say, that's up to 240. So the next little bit is to sand and seal it. There's a little bit of a wobble on the end there, but we can live with that. So shunt that along. Sand and seal. Where's my bit of paper? The wax actually went a bit further than the sand-in sealer, but that's not a problem because I'll over wax 3/4 of that on the outside, and the meths will take off a little bit of wax anyway.
So David from Webfoot Resin and Wood Creations has joined us. Good evening,
Hello,
David.
Now, putting sand-in sealer on there does show me that I have a little mark. Not massive, but it's just a little mark just there. And it's not until you put sand-in sealer on that you can actually see it. So, support with the right hand, finger underneath, straight onto the 240, just to ease that little...
TJ Turning has to go back to his holiday, he says. Yeah.
All right.
Sure,
we know that means drinking.
Probably.
Yeah. So I think that's moved it. Yeah. I'm just going to blend this in up here.
Terry says Michael, but he hasn't spelled it wrong. He's changed. He's typed it incorrectly this time.
Never worry if you have to go back and resand a piece that you've already got sand-in sealer on, because the sand-in sealer will enhance your issue. That's better. That you didn't know you had until you cover it up. So, yes, that's moved it.
There we go.
Wasn't much, but it was enough there that I could see it. I don't suppose you guys would have done.
No, we didn't see it, but
no,
you'd see it once you get it close up.
Yep, I knew it was there, so
best to go back and fix it then. It's all about the finish at the end of the day when you set these things on a table. If it's not finished correctly, nobody's going to buy it.
Everyone's going to see it, see their fault. They're not going to see the beauty because you've skimped on it. So,
Benjamin reckons that Terry's house insurance must have gone through the roof, as he's never at home. And Mark the Gentleman Woodturner says Terry has more holidays than Angela Rippon. He has more days off than Santa Claus, that's for sure.
Yeah. He has more days off than what I do, and I've retired, or supposedly. Still, I'm doing what I like. I didn't grow up wood turning. I grew up plumbing. So this is all new to me over the past few years. So my hobby is my hobby, which I enjoy. I enjoy passing it on to you guys. I enjoy answering the questions that you throw at me. I've been through a lot of what you newbies are going through. Although having said that, you've got YouTube now, which I didn't have. Used to go and stand
YouTube.
and watch all the professionals that I could.
YouTube makes it so much easier, but then at the same token, there's so much rubbish on YouTube too.
Yep, you can learn some stupid things.
You got to be careful what you pick and choose to watch.
Well, I think most of you would be aware that you were watching rubbish, having seen the likes of Wayne turning. You would soon realise that what you're watching isn't the way that Wayne would do it. Terry would do it with a skew. So there's so many people out there that you can aspire to, that you can run it against. Always turn your lathe off when you're moving the tool rest about. Get in a bit.
My good lady wife is out watering my garden.
Okay.
Oh.
What's she after, mate?
Don't know, mate. Don't know. Try to keep the flowers looking nice.
Yeah. Ours got done this morning before it got too hot. I think she's going to give them a miss tonight. I did the tomatoes on the way into the workshop because they're just outside.
Yep, I haven't done my tomatoes yet too. I haven't done them yet, but I will do when it gets a bit cooler. Andy H has got to leave you to it now. He says, I've been lurking, but I've been told I should be sociable.
Yeah, he's a miserable old git at times.
See you all soon, he says. So,
yeah, cheers, Andy. You enjoy it. Have one for me, mate.
He's obviously been caught on or looking at his phone.
Right, this is where I'm deciding I'm going to put a little decoration on the stem, because I think it needs something rather than a completely parallel stem. Just want something to break it up.
Yep. So Jared's made a comment there. He says, Brian, yes, we do have YouTube, but I think one still needs tuition with a qualified tutor to help get the right attitude with the tools. But I agree, YouTube helps. You're absolutely right. Practice makes permanent. Only perfect practice makes perfect. So if you haven't been taught it how to do it correctly, you can practice however long you like. It still will not. It won't be right. So seek out professional help. It's always a plan.
I had the good Les Thorne give me a lesson, and I said to him, okay, Les, when can I book up again? He said, don't take the P. He said, you don't need it. He said, you're as good as you need to be. You just need practice now. And I've watched all of the big wood turners we've had at club, and I've managed to watch them from fairly close. We've got a good camera system at club onto a what is it, a 16-foot wide screen, so it's actually bigger than life. And I must admit, the turners that we've had at club, if you had a little bit of a question, they would stop and answer it. We've only had 2 turners in the last 20 years that I wouldn't go and watch again, and most of the other people, most of the other club members said the same. Well, that was a bit of a busted flush. What did he teach us? And I said, well, he taught me not to book him again.
Very good. So Gerard has said for Christmas he's asking his family for a 2-day tuition with Dave Condon.
Right, don't know the name, but
Dave Condon, he's an Irish fan down in County Kerry.
You're right.
For sometime next year.
Okay.
That'll be a good couple of days, Gerard, if you can manage it, mate.
Yeah. Yes, you should learn a reasonable amount in a couple of days. You should learn where at least you're not going quite right, tool presentation. But again, if you follow someone like Wayne, watch him, he's one that I would point beginners at, because he's got the years behind him. Terry's another one that's got the years behind him. So you should be able to learn a bit from them. Hopefully you can learn a little bit from me. But like I say, I am 90% self-taught.
So David from Webfoot Creations has said, question, how do you determine how long to make the stem? A personal preference or just a look?
You can't make it any longer than the piece of wood you got, David, for a start. So if you've only got 6-inch wood, you can't put a 7-inch stem on it. So a lot of it is down to what you have.
To make it aesthetically pleasing, David, the rule of thirds kind of applies. 2/3, 1/3.
Yep, or fifths.
Or fifths,
2
yep.
fifths, 3 fifths. It's all down to what looks good. You can't reinvent the car wheel.
Yep, you just need to look at some of the classic shapes and classic designs, and you'll see what works and what really doesn't.
So I'm going to refine this foot, but I can feel something knocking through the chisel.
Barry's Recreation says, question, Keith, are you going to support the cup end? There seems to be a lot of wobble.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. That's quite stable. So the reason it's bouncing down here on the nose, it looks like there was a shake up the wood, and I've just unearthed it. So I've only got to take off one more pass, and I'm through it. So the foot will be a slightly smaller diameter. Yeah, that's through it. One cut through it. So as it's a fairly tall goblet, I'm going to make the base a little bit heavier than perhaps I would normally.
Benjamin has just answered David's question there. He says, I'd like to Google photographs, find something I like, and then attempt to copy the dimensions. Get a catch, and then do it slightly smaller.
Mm.
Design modification. Adam from I Love Wood Turning is saying hi and bye. It's time for bedtime stories.
Thanks, Adam,
Hi,
for
Adam.
stopping by.
Thanks for coming in.
Right, now, who was it that said, am I going to support this?
Let me scroll that back a minute and I'll
Anyway,
see who that was.
whoever it was, the answer is no, because when I press the stop button, this runs down slowly. So you're not going to get an instant whip on it. And the same when I press the start button, it takes 5 seconds to ramp up. So it's not going to twist itself off. And I'm not running at thousands of revs.
That was Barry's wood creation. Asked the question.
Yeah. So providing you can start at a reasonable speed and ramp it up or turn it up on the volume control, you don't, the offset on the top shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, Adam's back. He's not needed for stories tonight, so that's good. He's back watching again.
You're more than welcome, Adam.
He's been stood down, obviously.
Demoted for the evening, eh?
Yep. So there's a question there for you, Adam, actually. Someone asked, what do you think of captive rings, Adam?
You're more than welcome to turn the 1 or 2, but don't make a habit of it.
We're just coming up on the hour now, Keith, and you've got 41 watching.
No, well done, guys. Thank you very much. Well, like I say, Rich is booked in for 9 o'clock, so I've still got a quarter of an hour to get this done.
I can't find Rich's link on YouTube.
No, I don't know whether he's put one up. I can say it was a phone call just as I fired up the PC tonight to get it going, that he said, what time are you aiming to finish by? And I said, well, I'll be out of it by 7 in the morning, definitely. But I don't think that was quite the right answer.
Mo Valley Maker's in. And he's waiting. Mo Valley says, waiting to see Adam do a captive ring on a rolling pin. Are you, Rob? Question mark. And good evening, all.
What a pointless exercise on a rolling pin.
Oh, might leave some interesting marks in the dough.
Well, it'll
be clogged up with dough in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it'll give you somewhere to run the jam in, won't it? Or the cream, whichever goes on first. So we're down to 240 grit. Started at 120. I was quite happy with the tool work. I might even stop and have a look in a minute to see what we're doing. So I put a little bit of a flare on the bottom of the stem. I think it makes it look a little bit more elegant.
A little stepped base.
Yeah, I think it might have to have a transplant for the base at a later date, because it looks like there's a shake through there. But, it's what it is.
I love wood turning. Adam says, I might just do that now. I'm turning completely useless objects. No, I don't, Adam. And Rob CP says, I might go live tomorrow and do a goblet if anyone has a spare 9 hours.
Oh, come on, Rob. Don't put
You're not
yourself
that slow,
down.
Rob. You're not that
Yeah.
slow, buddy.
No, 8.5 hours. Get it right. Yes, you're never going to take 9 hours. Right. I think I'm happy with that. As happy as that bit of wood will let me be, I might be able to trickle some super glue in underneath of it once I've parted it off to resolve the issue of the. It looks like there's a hairline crack there, but I can't do anything about it. Not going to do anything about it. We can always transplant another foot onto the bottom of it.
You could indeed, yeah.
It's not the first time, and it is only a practice piece, really, at the end of the day. I know one or two people get annoyed when you say it's only a practice piece, but if you don't practice, you don't get better.
It is true.
But the practice pieces that I like to do are the Christmas caricatures, the trees, the snowman, the Santas,
Yep.
and that sort of thing.
It's nearly time to start making them again.
Well, I've got a box full from last year, so I'm not too bad.
You're
I'm not
ahead of the game
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not absolutely desperate, because that's what I tend to do during the winter months when I haven't got anything else to do. Find a bit of softish wood, recycled wood, and
so
get
Rob
in the workshop and make some.
So Adam has said it's a pleasing shape, Keith.
Thank you.
And his next comment says, "Oh, practice piece, that old chestnut." Rob CP has said, "I will make it out of purple heart with 2 captive rings and a spiral stem." Well,
Good
we're all
luck,
going to
Rob.
watch that now, Rob.
Yeah, good luck on that. Purple heart's a brittle wood. I certainly wouldn't want to do a captive ring with it, or even attempt to make a captive ring with it. But you're a braver man than me, Gungadin.
God, it's years since I heard that expression. I remember that poem at school, drummed into me. Cool major bit there now, of course.
Wet sand it one way, whack
Adam
it in
has said,
reverse, wet sand it the other way.
Yep.
Adam said, sorry, Brian.
Adam says to Rob, your trembler was a practice piece, I'm guessing, right? Question mark. First, maybe last? Question mark. Or is there a next level?
4-footer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what size Rob's. It was 3 foot something, I think. It was a good long trembler. So a 6-footer is the next one then. Door height. 6'6". Go for it.
You need to be able to get it on the lathe. That's the biggest issue. It's the maximum that you can get on the lathe between headstock and tailstock, I believe, unless you're using a hollow headstock. If you're using a hollow headstock, you can poke your piece of wood up the headstock. So you're governed on thickness for a start then.
And Rob CP says, there is a next level. Thumbs up. We're looking forward to that then, Rob.
Mm.
See what you produce at the next level.
Right.
And his lathe is only 1100 mil.
Right.
You have to make it in 2 halves then. Glue it back
It's
together
not-
again.
Yeah, you can't do that with a proper
Yeah.
trembuler.
It's cheating a bit, isn't it?
Has to be one. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Benjamin
Sliced it
suggests
off.
you could always add a mortise or two, a mortise and a tenon joint or two in a couple of pieces. That would be pretty easy to hide. It would still be cheating though.
Right. A moment of self-destruction, I can see.
Cue the Jaws music. Rob was just teasing us. He says it will be a while because I can't afford the wood yet.
Mm.
Take your time,
Curtain
Rob.
pole, Rob. Yeah. Now, for parting that off one-handed, I use the back of my arm as an extension of the handle. So that's directly underneath my elbow. Hold it up fairly close, and you can get a decent parting off. The bottom needs tarting up, but apart from that, I'm quite happy with it.
Nice piece of wood, turned out well.
Yeah. Let me come back onto different camera. Don't want that one. I want that one. So that should be, when it wakes up, that one.
Jeez, Calvin says, Rob, I won't buy any wood. There we are. Nice.
There we are, guys.
So what height is it finished, Keith?
So we're ending up at 65 mil diameter by 9 1/4. Cherry.
Very nice. It's hard to see inside them.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Keith.
Don't know whether.
No, you're not getting it. You can't
No.
really see inside them. It's fine.
No.
We'll believe you that it's well finished.
It is right to the bottom. It's that deep to the end of my fingers, so there's not a lot of weight in there. But end grain hollowing with whatever you like. Started off with a bowl gouge, went on to the spindle gouge, then went on to the Simon Hope 6mm cutter, and all come out satisfactorily. So I'm covered in dust, so every time I touch it, I leave in dust on it.
Jared, the French stunner, says, very nice, Keith. Thanks for sharing. And
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Hopefully you guys have picked up a little bit from it. Like I said to Brian before we started, I don't really need the practice. I'm going to turn something. I might as well be live. That actually fits the hand nicely. That little bump on the bottom, you're picking it up in the right place. You don't really want to pick it up right under the bowl, and you don't want to pick it up on the bottom. But that's positioned itself just right so that the thumb and one finger fits above it, and the rest of the hand fits below it. So we've ended up with, where's the venereals? Over here.
Barry's Wood Creation says, very nice, Keith. Have to go now. Bye, all. Bye, Barry.
Thank you for Barry for stopping by. So that's got a bowl thickness of just over 3mm. The top of the stem is 8mm, and the very bottom is 14. For you technophebes out there that want to know how we got there. So just over 3mm at the top, 1/8 of an inch at the top. What did I say? 6mm down to 8mm down the bottom. So there we are. So at the moment, guys, I'm not sure whether I'm doing Thursday night as a live as well. It's all down to Scott. It should be his live. He's hiding at the moment, so I'm guessing he's not in a nice place with all the meds that he's on, and whether he's back in hospital or not, I don't know. I will try him again later on. But
Haven't seen anything on Facebook either.
No, if he is coming on, which I very much doubt, that's not a problem. But if I'm on, how about a canary-coloured wood? And again, the camera doesn't do it justice.
Canary
That is bright yellow.
Yeah, can't see it at all on.
No.
Oh, there's a bit of yellow showing up there now. No.
Yeah, it's bright yellow anyway. It's English mulberry. So it'll be a quick bowl out of that. There is a bark inclusion down the side, so I will make it that way up with a fairly delicate rim to it.
There's the beard in now.
Hello, Rich. I'm just about to sign off.
Let me just see if I can find see if the beard.
Have you put a link in there, Rich? If not, can you? And Brian will put it up. But what you've missed tonight is a 9-inch tool by 2 3/4-inch diameter cherry goblet. So we haven't wasted time. And I said I'd be finished about 1:45. So a little bit earlier than I thought. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, the rest of you that have appreciated what I'm doing.
Oh, the beard in bed again. I found it.
Does mulberry stay yellow? It does, but it's like most woods. If you put it in the sunshine, the UV rays will slowly make it brown. That's the bottom, which has been cut for some time, which is quite brown, as opposed to the yellow from the side. So it does go brown eventually. With a finish on it, it will last a lot longer. And Peter's saying Rich's live's
it's
up there somewhere.
And there's the link.
Well done. Thanks, mate. So all pop over and form an orderly queue outside of Rich's door, and he'll let you in with the mad arsonist. I mean, Baz.
Mad arsonist. That's terrible. Baz,
you can't have a laugh. Yeah, if you can't have a laugh, you're on the wrong place. Oh, I'm sticky. I'm going to jump straight under the shower when I get in.
You're welcome, Rich. No bother at all, mate.
No. Share what we can. So who's on tomorrow lunchtime? Wayne?
Wednesday should be... No, is Wayne not Wednesday evening?
Wayne's Wednesday evening, so... Okay. I don't think there's anyone on Wednesday lunchtime, is there? Apart from Nick?
Yeah, I'm not sure, mate. Honestly.
No, I can't. It gets changed too much.
It's too much for me. I can't keep up with it all.
No.
I know that I'm on Thursday.
You're on Thursday, right? Thursday lunchtime.
Yep.
Yep. And like I say, I'm 99% certain that I will be doing Thursday evening covering for Scott. So, but until I can speak to him,
you won't know.
You know, No, but that's
Oh,
what it would be. It'll be a quick bowl.
Peter
I
the
know
Bartlett
everyone
Turner
says,
was in. I didn't see him.
yeah, not another bowl, but it's got to be basically a one part. I mean, no, I can't. I've locked the shed. I have a what is it? It's 12, 14-inch diameter, and it's about 12, 14 inches deep, round, top of a pollarded something. I'm wondering whether it's pollarded horse chestnut.
All
It's
right.
very dry. There's a lot of branches in it, and that might be a two-part one. It does turn quite nice because Pete Kelly, who sometimes pops in if he's not working or asleep, he had one of the tops, and I've got the bigger one of the tops because his lathe is slightly smaller than mine. And he said it was a bit of a fight, took a lot of CA, but he got there. Check
So,
out his Facebook page. There's pictures on there of it.
so Rob CP suggested he might try and do a 4 or 5 p.m. for his goblet tomorrow.
Uh-huh. Well, it's not specifically a goblet. It's end grain turning without using a drill bit
Yeah,
for
I'm doing a box on something.
for the initial access.
Oh, Baz is there. He's been
Baz is
lucky in this.
yeah, we've been talking about him, so that's why he thought he'd better poke his head up. I'll be with you in a bit, Baz. I'm going to sign off now, and thank you all for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed it. If you haven't said that you haven't in the chat. There's been quite a few questions coming up that Brian's been firing at me that we've answered on the way through. And there's still 25, 26 of you in the chat, so we can't aboard the pants off of you. So anyway, I'm going to call it an end so that I get a chance to go and have a quick shower before we watch
Good plan.
Baz come on there and show us how he sorts fire out. Hopefully he's got a decent fire extinguisher handy. So cheers, guys. Brian and I will see you in our own lives and whatever, whenever, whoever,
See you through
during
the
the
week,
week.
guys.
Yep. So bye for all. Pop over and see Baz.
Bye for now, guys.